I'm Vin.
I'm Sori.
That's Lobby.
And Salty and Chip.
We're going to do something new today.
Yeah.
We're going to do a band we never heard before.
Yeah.
But a band that's been highly recommended. Batushka.
Yeah. And somebody... Are you going to say the name?
Well, I don't even know his name. All I know is Priest fans.
Fans, okay. He translated this for us, so we have this lyric video here that we all get to enjoy because he made it for us.
Because it's a big
correct?
homie. He made it. Yeah, good night. Batushka is like Slavic / Russian. It means father. It's how you address a priest.
Oh.
Yeah.
Babushka is grandma.
Yeah, so Batushka. I guess, are they Polish?
No idea, babe.
Somebody said they were a Polish band. So Behemoth is Polish, I know that.
I think it's cute when you ask me something about these things that I know nothing about. I'm like, no, he still believes in me.
I guess the thing about this band is that they take Slavic Russian Orthodoxy.
Yeah.
Like the liturgy.
Yeah.
And they black metalize it.
Oh,
so
yikes.
it's
Okay.
They're taking the inversion principle and not ratcheting it up to 50,000.
Okay.
So this should be very, very interesting, especially current situations considered. But all right, let's do it. Shout out to the big homie. Also, I saw something on Patreon. Somebody had to stop being a patron because they had these medical bills, and it was just whoa, it's crazy, you know. So, and he said, I'll get back as soon as I can.
Aww.
I appreciate you, my man.
Yeah.
Please email us because I wanna talk to you on the side, see if we can do something for you. So email us and let us know. If there's any way we can help you. Don't be prideful. Don't be a giver and not a taker.
Right.
All the time. You gotta have balance in your life, my guy. Okay. So let's do it. Batushka, this is Yektenyia, I think it's called. 1. Yektenyia. Yektenyia 2.
Yeah.
The whole record is Yektenyia 1, Yektenyia 2, Yektenyia 3. It's kind of like Megwa.
Oh, okay.
Exercises in futility.
Yep.
Same shit.
Okay.
All right, let's do it.
Whoops, I almost shut the camera off. I guess I'll play the song instead. Go.
Let's go. Full screen.
Блаженни пощую, ягоде учесть Блаженни пьет ягоди на свет от землю Блаженни научуй за душу правду Ягоди на лица Блаженни милости Ягоди он помиловать будут Блаженни чисто сердцем
I didn't like that one.
Why?
I don't know. There was something about it that made me feel very uncomfortable. Which is surprising because of all the other stuff that I've listened to I've been completely fine with. But I don't know why that one I was like, I don't like that one.
Well, that one was strange because I was waiting for the blasphemous stuff.
Yeah, I know.
And it never came.
I know.
Although, if he says, in the name of me pray,
Yeah.
then is he taking the place of God? But it could very well be he's narrating as God. So
I know.
and you could,
I know.
like, that's an interesting song because that's a song where you could be a Christian and completely listen to it and be fine.
Yeah.
You know, like, unless there's like some real subtle shit that's lost in the language that we
Yeah.
don't know, which is absolutely
Yeah, I know.
very
I didn't
possible.
see anything that was like, but I don't know why it made me feel
So it's like, in the
uncomfortable.
name of me pray, in the name of salvation pray. And then he talked about the Sermon on the Mount, the Beatitudes.
I know.
Blessed are the poor
Yeah.
in spirit, blessed are the meek, they will inherit the earth.
Yeah.
And that they're blessed.
Those who are weeping, they will be comforted. Yep.
Yeah, those are persecuted for righteousness' sake.
Yeah.
There's the kingdom of heaven. So it's like, okay.
I
And
know.
then it says, in the name of me,
Yeah, in the
in
name,
the name
of
of
salvation.
salvation.
Yep.
So what was bugging you about it?
I don't know.
Or you were just getting
something
the,
inside. I felt very uncomfortable with it, and I don't know.
Of course, the presentation is very dark.
Yeah, but it's so mild compared to Vatain or anything like that.
Right. In the name of
there's
the...
not. I mean, there's a skull on there, but it's not like a pig head. I'm not. I don't know. I don't know what. I don't know.
Maybe it's a concept record and we're missing something, because at the beginning he says he's going to unite the world. I will unite all. You see that there?
Yeah.
So it's like maybe he's actually playing as the devil. Right? In the name of salvation pray, and then
Yeah.
in the name of the whole world I will bless, I will unite all. So it's like that's an interesting perspective. I'm the most holy, O Lord, the most blessed. Which I'm assuming in the original, in the name of me I prayed in the name of salvation. So this person is praying to himself and he's going to bless the whole world. So I'm assuming that this is actually the devil. And then, so all of the Beatitudes would be like working in reverse.
Uh-huh.
Because, and you know, it's interesting. I don't know how nuanced. I would be extremely impressed if they knew this, but Jesus, because this guy says, in the name of me I pray.
Yeah.
I think it was John chapter 8. He says, I have come in my Father's name, and you do not accept me. But the one that comes in his own name, him you accept.
Oh.
And there are some people that look at that as the Antichrist. So Jesus Christ came in the name of his Father,
yeah.
but the Antichrist comes in his own name. So I doubt very, very highly that maybe I'm underestimating it, but this person is saying, in the name of me I pray. See right there?
Yeah.
In the name of me, well, it says in the name of me pray.
He's telling him to pray in his name.
And again, this is a Slavic
Yeah.
liturgy.
Yeah.
So I'm sure like it's probably in your name we pray. And then all that, but this person is saying me. I don't know. If it was the devil, then all of this would be like, there'd be one crazy freaking introversion for sure. Because the peacemakers and all this, like all of that stuff would be, you know, making peace with what? What are you making peace with if you're the devil? So I don't know. What is it? Okay, so Yektenyia 2. Okay, so Yektenyia means litany, which I believe is a series of lines spoken by a leader of a congregation. These are all of Batushka's litanies, okay?
What's that?
A litany is like the liturgical order.
I was like, isn't that liturgy or liturgical or like that word?
Yeah, the litany is a liturgical order.
Okay.
So the first Yektenyia is cleansing, and the second one is blessing, which is the one that we're listening to.
Oh, so it was a concept.
It's a
Is what you're
concept
saying.
record. Yeah, it's a concept record. But like the whole progression, I'm pretty sure the whole progression follows the progression of this,
Yeah.
Slavic church order of liturgy or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if
But
somebody,
just in reverse.
no, I don't think it's in reverse.
No, I mean in reverse as far as like the actual church is doing it toward Christ or to God.
Right.
And then this is like in reverse as in like this is not toward God.
Well, we're assuming it's not
Or you're
toward
not
God
sure.
because they're a black metal band. So it's
Well,
gotta
there's a
not.
pentagram over there. No, that's not a pentagram.
I don't know that that's a pentagram.
That's a star upside
It could be
down.
a Star of David, for all we know.
Upside down. Why is it upside down? I don't know. Like I'm not sure. Like there's something that I can't place it because I'm looking at like the setup and everything looks like we've seen some stuff that's been very dark.
Yeah.
And
really,
this
really
seems
dark.
so basic in comparison, so I'm not really sure why this one made me feel uncomfortable.
Well, I think what was strange was just the straight quoting of the Sermon on the Mount.
Maybe.
It's very weird to me. Like,
Maybe.
whoa, this guy just quoted the Sermon on the Mount.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And like the singing, like, I like different types of vocals because I feel like all different types of vocals can come across, obviously, depending on what they're saying, as worship toward God. So I'm like, so I liked like the sound of his vocals. I don't know who is this character that's on their costumes and on the wall.
It's
There's
probably
like a
an
person
icon of a
with a-
saint.
with a child on them.
Probably Mary.
That doesn't look like Mary to me.
It's probably an icon of Slavic/Russian Orthodox villagers. Help us out.
I know. Right there. Oh, maybe it is.
It's probably the Blessed Mother with the. That's got to be Mary and Jesus.
So interesting, right? Like why?
I don't know. I think.
I feel like I'm confused with this band, and I need more information.
Yeah, I feel like we don't have enough
Like,
information
no,
here to see what's
not
actually
enough
going
intel,
on.
yeah.
Because, like I said, like if you look at this at this song just by itself,
Yeah. Right.
there's
Yeah.
what's the problem?
Right. You could sing it in church for heaven's
You
sake.
could sing it in church, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not sure.
So I guess what I was waiting for in the entire thing is the punchline.
Yeah, me too.
I'm gonna bring you all down to hell,
Yeah.
or create hell on earth, or make
Yeah.
people rebel against you. I don't understand why.
But maybe it was lost in translation. I don't know.
Yeah, some of that might be lost in translation, but I don't think it is because this source that we have is actually close to the band. So, I
don't know. I want to know what the symbols are that are on their costumes, because there's lots of symbols all over the place. I want to know what's the writing that's on their hoods.
Yeah,
What?
I don't know. It looks like a cross, but it's upside down.
On the back of them.
Well,
yeah.
this one right here
Where?
on the shoulder blade.
That's a cross?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that is. Yep.
Yeah. Actually, you know what we need to do? We
What?
need to talk to Batushka.
That's it. You need to clear this up.
We need to talk to you guys.
Yeah.
Because I need you to help
need
us with
some
the concept. We
answers.
need some answers. These Christians need to talk to you, Batushka. Help
Yes.
us, Father.
Help us. Yeah.
So I think he's, aesthetically speaking, he's taking the role of the priest. Right? And then the Gregorian chanters
should
are
have
like
done
on the side.
Putting his back toward the crowd. You know?
Well, he was.
And then
he
at
was,
the last minute
he
turn
was,
and bless
he was,
them.
He was doing this, which is the posture that they have.
Yeah, well, I went to a church in Russia, and they had their back to the congregation the entire time. They said the message, and then they turned around, gave a blessing, and then they were gone. So you only saw them facing front for that small piece.
Okay.
That's typical of religious. But
So he's in the role of a priest.
Hmm?
I don't know.
We got too many questions.
Something is either lost in translation,
Yeah.
or we're missing it because it's a concept record and we're only in song 2 of like 8.
Yeah.
Or they're extremely smart and we missed something in the lyric. No,
Yeah,
I mean
I
it
know.
could be like they're.
I know.
You know, some people are just like so intelligent. Like,
Yeah.
it's not even fair.
But I feel like that doesn't happen to you very often.
Like I see some inversion there for sure as
Yeah.
far as the aesthetics, but
Yeah.
lyrically,
What are these, little tiny candles?
yeah, like he's saying me. I don't know. We're gonna have to suspend judgment. This is the first time in Vin and Sori history. We're gonna have to suspend judgment.
Right.
I'm going to go to my source and tell him we need to have an interview with these gentlemen.
Answers, yeah.
We need an interview with these gentlemen ASAP. Or what we need to do is we need to have somebody come down. You know what probably somebody's going to say? They're going to say, you just need to listen to the whole album to get it.
Probably.
That would be smart for them to say.
Yeah, that would be.
Then we'd have a full
Roll
black
us
metal
in.
album.
Yep.
Yeah, and I'm not necessarily sure I'd be completely against that, because after seeing this, like, it's very strange to me.
What?
Because it's one of those things where people always, you know how people always say things like, you know, and no disrespect, because these are our brothers and sisters, so I'm really not being, I hope I'm not coming across as condescending, but Christians are like, aren't you afraid that the darkness of the music is gonna rub off on your spirituality? Like, don't you feel like,
Yeah.
you know, don't you feel like you need to be protected from that? And part of me feels like, what if this is happening in reverse? Like, these people are like, oh, we're gonna take not even just this band, but we're gonna take Christian themes and invert them. But then now you're at the point where you're quoting like
Right.
whole swath of scripture. And what if a person's never paid attention to the Bible at all,
Yeah.
and then they get exposed to the Beatitudes through a black metal band, and they say, well, shit, this is a blessed are the peacemakers, and they start trying to live like that, like, you know,
Well, I heard
blessed
of
are the
people
weeping,
that, like,
for they shall be comforted.
Yeah.
Blessed are the meek, they'll inherit the earth.
Yeah.
Like, what if you've never heard of this stuff, and
Yep.
then boom, you run into this,
You're
and
like,
then
where
now
is that? You Google it, and you're like, oh, that's in the
Right.
Bible. Jesus
right? Like,
said that.
I wonder if I wonder if folks like feel like ever worry about it going the opposite way, like as a black metal person. Like, are you flirting too much with the inversion?
Yeah.
To where you're giving the real thing, and like you're too smart for the audience to understand that you're really inverting it, and you're just saying the straight dope gospel. In which case, you know, some person becomes very, very compelled. Blessed are you persecuted for righteousness' sake. What if they get compelled and say, let me look into that. What are they talking about?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just a very, very interesting thought to me. Like the irony of the whole thing.
It's true. I've never heard anybody say it.
Say what?
We better be careful. We don't put too much Bible in there, so.
Well, yeah, it's always
you
it always
hear
works.
Christians saying, "Be careful, you're gonna."
And it goes to your presuppositions, right? Like, if you suppose that darkness of the devil is more powerful than God,
Right.
then of course you'd be telling Christians worry, right? But if you believe that God is more powerful than the devil, then you should be saying you'd be saying, well, these guys better watch out, or they're gonna have a whole
Right.
a revival on their
Right.
hands. And you know, so it's a very, this whole experience with like metal and black metal and how Christians react to it,
Yeah.
you know, and then being Christians ourselves, like the things that are like designed to get a rise out of you and trigger you as a Christian. I think we've like become, you know, we can kind of see the strategy, and I think we're struggling with this one because I'm failing to see the strategy here.
Well, no, I agree with you. I still can't get past why do I feel uncomfortable about this one. Maybe it's I don't know. I don't know why. Because I can't understand it, and that's why I'm like, why do I feel it? There was nothing here that was particularly shocking, or I don't know.
Yeah. Is it the fact that is it because they didn't do anything crazy or say anything crazy about
I have
that?
no idea. It's weird. I don't know. I can't describe it.
So I'm gonna hold off on rating this song because I just don't have enough information.
No, I'm with you on that.
I like the drummer, by the way.
I didn't.
I like
that.
the drummer. He's a badass. These guys are kind of.
I didn't hear the
These
drummer.
guys are kind of like Megwa. They don't show their faces either. Okay. This is a to be continued. The first ever, y'all.
Yep.
I think everybody can agree. The top thing is we need to talk to these guys.
Yeah, because this.
I need a breakdown.
Yeah. I need to know what's going on.
Batushka. I need a breakdown,
It's in our
friend.
minds.
Probably our contact is probably the singer of the band. He's like, I know them.
Yep. Let me
Tell them. I
Yeah,
said,
his name is something priest, right?
right, priest fans. Which Batushka means father, which is what you call a priest. So
Maybe
he's
it's
probably
this
a
guy in the
Batushka
front
fan.
that's the priest.
Inshallah. So email us, priest fan.
Yeah.
We need to talk to the band that you're not in
Right.
very soon.
So
For sure.
let us know when
For sure.
he can meet with us.
For sure. And we'll be willing to talk with the big
Yeah.
homie.
We'll make time. What?
All right.
Oh.
We just
The
got an
band-
email.
yeah.
One is willing to talk to us.
Oh my gosh! You guys, we're setting up an interview right now. Literally, the email just came through. Right now? Can we talk right now? What?
Yeah, maybe we can release
That's true,
this.
because-
Maybe we can release this as a package, inshallah.
Ooh.
I
Yeah,
think
because
they
this
just
is a short review. I mean,
think
what are
they-
you guys going to do with the rest of your
I think they
day?
just got done a show. Okay, to be continued. Vin out.
Okay, sorry out.
Gone. Okay, so
You lucky people. Us lucky people.
we actually did score an interview with a source extremely close to the band.
Yep.
Batushka valued their anonymity.
Yes, they do.
And, as we go on and explain the conversation that we had with the source, that it's important. It's very
Yeah.
practical at some
Yep.
level.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
So it was a very, very interesting conversation. It was
Yep.
literally like, as we were finishing up the video, my other source was saying, "Hey, I can
have a
set you
connection
up
to
with
the
it.
other
I
source."
can connect you with a you kind of
Yeah,
saw it at
you
the end
guys
of the
saw it.
video.
You
Yeah,
guys
I was
saw it.
like, "Whoa." So anyway, it was cool. We had a very fascinating conversation.
Yeah, he answered a lot of the questions that we had.
Yeah, and I can say with 100% confidence that it's good intel.
Yes.
For sure.
Yep.
So one of the things that we were kind of confused of in the video was it's black metal,
Yes.
so that's the genre,
yeah.
and then but it sounded like it was from the perspective of
Of God,
and
was
then-
it? Was it not?
Yeah, and then he's quoting Jesus, Sermon
Yeah.
on the Mount, and
Yeah.
blessing, and blessed are you, and
So we were
da-da-da.
like looking like, is there something in this video that is like, because we were like, the foot never dropped on like what's like the bad like
Where's the devil stuff?
satanic devil stuff in there, and according to him, it wasn't meant to be that way. It is
No,
from the
it's from the
perspective of God.
God.
Yeah.
And I was like, shit.
Yep. Yeah.
Because that was pretty mind blowing. I was like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I was waiting for and I was like, well, maybe it's the devil the whole time,
Yeah.
and then everything is inverted.
Yeah. We were wrong.
I was
Vin.
wrong.
You heard it first here, guys.
I made sure to ask. I'm like, yo, what?
Yeah.
What? And he's like, no, it's from the perspective of God.
Yep. One thing that I thought was crazy was the upside down crosses. They said that's from the perspective, like if you're from the crowd, yeah, it looks upside down. But if you're the
Right.
one wearing the robe, when you look at it, it's right side up.
Right. So
And you were saying like you never had a problem with inverted crosses because Peter was crucified on a cross like upside down like that. And I thought that was a good point. People are always like, but that actually is in Christian history that some Christians went out that way. History records that Peter said like he didn't want to go out the same way.
He wasn't worthy
to go out
dying in the same way as our
manner
Lord.
of Christ. So then
Yeah.
he said, so they flipped it. And then, yikes.
Yeah, so that was extremely fascinating to us. And then the vestments were,
Yeah,
their
like
gear was
to
pretty
look
much
like real priest gowns.
yeah, like
in the Orthodox
Slavic
Church.
or Eastern Orthodox, Russian
Yeah.
Orthodox Church.
Yep.
Which was interesting to me because black metal is about inversion a lot of the
Yeah.
time. Satanism is about inversion. So it was like, here they are, a black metal
Yeah.
band, and they're not a Christian band.
Nope.
They're a black metal band, but they're quoting
Yeah.
Christian stuff, and
Yeah.
then you've got the Gregorian chanting in the back or whatever the
Yeah.
chanting was, and they pulled that shit off live really well.
Yeah, they did. We actually asked because remember when we were saying during the video, like, oh, I wonder if there's ever a time where, like, because they're quoting stuff from the Bible, somebody will, like, Google it and be like, oh, that's from the Bible, and then somehow get into
Right.
Christianity through their music, even though they're not Christian.
Right,
And
we were
apparently-
speculating on that.
Yeah,
in the video.
apparently it did happen. It was in there,
Multiple times.
and multiple times, popped up in their comment section and stuff. So I was like, that's interesting.
People have become
Yeah.
Christians through this black metal. Well, but the other side that was interesting in the discussion was because they're writing from the perspective of God, they had beef with the Russian Orthodox Church or whatever.
Yeah.
And they had to they were
Fear for their
they got in
lives.
trouble. Their lives were threatened. The fans were threatened.
Yeah.
And so they had to, cancel shows, not so much for their own personal security, but for the security of their fans.
Yeah.
To make sure that everybody was okay. So that was
Yeah.
pretty mind blowing.
Yeah, it was. Well, it's interesting because you, at one point, were asking, like, what's the most important thing to them? And and he was saying the most important thing was that for entertainment, they love to entertain.
Yeah.
And so
Giving their folks an experience.
yeah,
for an
giving
hour
it.
and
So
a half.
I mean, so yeah, they want to protect their people that would come out to see them and stuff.
Speaking of which, Batushka's on tour in America right now.
Yeah.
That was, I asked them, the source, I'm like, how does the band feel about like being demanded to come to America? Because
Yeah.
they play by demand. And I mean, as you can imagine, that would be a very, exciting thing for a band.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure they're a Polish group, and they're not even singing in English.
I know.
There's not a lot of band. I mean, I don't know. Maybe. I mean, I'm still. Now, the more and more we've looked at this stuff, the more ignorant of metal I see that I am. But like,
yeah.
Rammstein is it's probably the only band that I know of that shows up complete non-English, and then,
Yeah.
but people love them.
Yeah. Yep.
So it's cool.
Yeah, he said that because I was like, what about all the decorations that were there? Because there wasn't like, basically it's supposed to be set up like the actual church. And I'm like, yeah, but what about the skull? It was like that? Like, I mean, I'm sure there wasn't a skull. And then he was like, no, they added that.
Yeah,
in
we
for-
added that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool. One of the things that we talked about was
Oh, they never intended to play live.
right.
Like, that was never one of their intentions. But,
Right.
but the promoters and the owners of the
management was
label
like,
were like, you have to
this
do
shit
it live.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
pretty cool. That's a good.
Well, I mean, it's an experience. You have to. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah, I felt like that they were in a place like in their own little category. Like, I didn't feel like that they were similar to anything else that we've heard.
No.
He made reference to that. Some people will think that they're similar to other bands.
I asked them.
but-
Yeah, I said, what would Batushka like to like? What would they look at as a misconception? I asked the
Yes.
source, like,
Yep.
what would be the biggest misconception that people would have of the group, and that they're kind of like a knockoff of another band or whatever.
Yeah.
That's kind of aesthetically similar. I was actually surprised at that because they don't sound like any other band at all.
No, I don't think so either.
Like, I was like, what? Okay. Because like, Dimmu Borgir had that, like, the whole course of,
Yeah.
of singing and all
Yep.
that, but it was still different.
Yeah,
It was still very, very different, very diverse.
yeah, I would agree with that.
The other thing that surprised me, I said, okay, how did the band come up with the idea to do these just straightforward quotations of the Bible or God or whatever? And the power of YouTube.
Yep.
Because it was a YouTube commentator that said that Christian hymns were more black metal
Yeah.
than black metal. And it's like, whoa, and that like spawned this band.
Yeah.
And it gave them sort of inspiration for where they were gonna go.
Which direction? Yeah.
Right? Because I mean, you're a musician, forget it. Like that drummer, he was a badass.
Yep.
So it's like,
Yep.
so like it didn't create the band, but it was a very, very influential moment. And it's like, it's crazy to me, like social media and how it works
and
now.
how it can
Like,
affect major things.
that couldn't have happened even 10 years ago. It couldn't
Right,
have happened. But
right.
now it's like, it's
You never know what your comment's gonna do.
well, I always say, like, none of us really understands the power of this stuff. Like,
You
there's
do.
gonna
You
be
say it
some,
all the time.
There's gonna be some study in 20 years, and we're gonna say, holy shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, which of course, I'm like, how familiar are the band with the Bible? And our source said they were very familiar with it because they've had
Well, some of them came up, he said, in religious, like, sort of backgrounds, right?
right,
Kind of, some of them were made to go to church
Dragged to
growing
church
up
and
and
all
stuff
that.
like that. Yeah.
yeah,
But then it landed them agnostic in the end.
yeah, well, which is interesting. Because agnostic to me is like you're still kind of open.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I think if you like ever pin down an atheist, they'll come out and technically say that they're agnostic. They'll say that they don't have like perfect gnosis, that there is no
Yeah.
God, but they don't
Yeah.
have a belief in God or gods. But if a person calls themselves agnostic, it seems to me they're a lot more self-aware
Yeah.
than if a person were to say that I'm an atheist, or more open-minded or whatever. Because being open-minded works both ways, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, it does.
Good Lord. Yeah, so I thought that was interesting that, you know, somebody was saying that the hymns and the psalms of the Bible and Christianity anymore, which is true. Like, Christianity can get really dark, and I don't mean dark in like the Crusades or whatever. We can talk about that. I just mean dark in the sense of, I mean, think about it. The main symbol of Christianity is a cross, which is an instrument of torture and death.
Yeah, no,
So,
for real.
So there's this whole body of literature all throughout Christian history that is extremely, you know, can be dark and like, you know, the chanting and Gregorian chanting and things like that are very, very, very deep. I was asking him, like, in comparison to like American evangelical, which is, you know, like, especially in the eastern side of the church, it's real deep and metaphysical and all this shit. Like I was saying, like, the Orthodox stayed out of you know, the Eastern side, they stayed out of the Reformation. They're like, we're not gonna argue over what this Greek word means. Like, you guys are ridiculous.
We out.
Yeah, like, let's worry about Christimation and deification. We don't need to worry about the silly things that you and Martin Luther are arguing about. So anyway, I thought that was really cool. Like, because it is true. Like, and even like regular black metal, satanic black metal, like all those characters still come from the Bible. You know what I mean? So like, if you want to get dark, you can get very, very dark, you know, from a biblical perspective.
There was a part too where I was asking, I was like, yeah, but like, what about the band members that like kind of grew up in some religious household and now like they're doing this? Like, how does their family feel about that? Because obviously that question's important to me, seeing as I'm kind of like that. Like, I grew up in a Christian home, but then here I am reviewing metal music, and like, what a lot of people are like, what does your family think about it? My family doesn't know. Only one of my family members knows. Everybody else doesn't know. Yeah. And I just thought of, like, if I did like this, like had one of those like recorders when I tell them, I'd be like, guys, let me tell you,
I get a million hits.
Vin got a new job and we're doing a YouTube channel. Anyway, but yeah, he was basically saying that I guess like their family members will kind of like see it as like, at first like kind of was a little bit difficult, but then it like more see it as like a theatrical sort of thing, and they're okay with it because their intent isn't Satanism or anything like that.
Well, he made a pretty provocative statement. He said there's too much Satanism in black metal.
Yeah, that's how they feel.
And it wasn't like, well, I don't know if it's how all of them feel, but it wasn't like
Right.
there's too much Satanism as it's too evil. It's just about creativity.
Yeah.
Like, be okay. Like, can we expand this?
Is there anything else?
Is there? Can we expand? Oh, okay. You don't like God. You don't say. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you know. And I, you know, I was saying, like, I fell for it because I'm like listening to it and I'm like, oh, there must be some, spoke in the middle somewhere.
I know, yeah, both of us. I was like rewatching it like before I started this.
You were watching us watch it?
Yeah, I was, and I was like watching the confusion, and I was like, I'm so uncomfortable with this. I don't know why I'm uncomfortable with it. I still don't know why I'm uncomfortable with it, because I'm like even more confused after talking to the source, because I'm like, okay, so the point wasn't Satanism.
No,
they're
not at
like
all.
actually quoting scripture from the point of God. Like, so I don't know. I'm still the jury's still out on that.
They also helped me pronounce Negwa correctly.
Oh yeah.
Or Mugwa,
Yeah.
I think is how it is.
He was telling us where their first tour, like where it was like at a knitting company or something like that.
No, the
right?
knitting factory in
What
Brooklyn.
is that? The knitting factory? Like, I don't even know.
It's like a place. It's not like a literal knitting factory. Whoa,
So like I was picturing a knitting factory. I'm like, how did this happen?
You should have asked him.
Well, I didn't want to insult the source if that was what it was, because I'm like, that's not really badass. You know, we're at a knitting factory. You know.
Yeah. So it was a really, really, really. I mean, it was very short notice and very just bang. You know, these guys. You know, we had to go to the source because like the band is, like, you know, they're very, very. Their anonymity is important to them.
Yes, it is.
And, you know, I think these guys are probably impossible to like actually get and sit and actually like.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, for sure.
So
it was cool because, like, at the end, Vin was like, he asked him, like, what question would you ask us, like, being Christians?
Oh,
if you could ask
us
any
as
question.
Christians, right.
Yeah, and he said, I would ask why so many forms of Christianity, and I'm gonna, like, put in Vin's response here.
It's a very interesting question, especially if you consider Eastern rites compared to the Western rites, and that's just what we call Catholicism in the West, right? And then you got the Eastern side, and then in Western Christianity, you'd have all these denominations in Protestantism because we're Protestants, right?
Yeah.
So I would say, you know what? It's actually interesting because Sori and I were actually having this conversation in Chipotle.
Yeah.
I don't know if they have Chipotle in New York. So here's my stab at it. So, and this is no disrespect to anybody's religion, but we live around a lot of Muslims, and so when you're really, really serious about Islam, you learn Arabic because Arabic is sort of like the holy language, and then you dress up in what's called a thobe, and it's not dressing up, it's connecting you with Muhammad because he was an Arabian, and that's how they would dress.
Yep.
And so with Judaism, you have very, very specific markers, like you have circumcision and things like that if you're really, really serious with, you know, a certain type of a lifestyle. Interesting about Christianity, especially at the beginning, it's kind of meant to be a multinational religion. So like you have, like in the book of Revelation, you have all of these different nations. He's, you know, John in his vision, he sees people from every tongue, tribe, people, and nation, and they're
They're
singing.
all worshiping around.
And so what ends up happening is, okay, you have this religion that becomes like decentralized because in, you know, you have at least the beginning, you know, in Islam you have Mecca, and then in Judaism you have Jerusalem. At the beginning stages of Christianity, there was no ground zero. It was just supposed to be this kind of universal thing where an African, this is a concept, at least from what I see in the Bible, an African is supposed to worship Jesus as an African.
Right.
And an Asian is supposed to worship Jesus as an Asian, and then a Westerner is supposed to worship Jesus as a Westerner, and then a Russian is supposed to as a Russian and with your own sort of ethnic identity. Well, what that's going to do is it's going to create all these different forms of what it means to be a Christian. And then the problem is, well, then if there's all these different forms, there's no form. And the solution to that is, well, and you see this in the New Testament where it's like, okay, we'll have one set of basic beliefs. You know, Jesus lived, he died, he rose from the dead, he's God in the flesh, and he's coming back.
Yep.
Pretty much it, right? So if you hold to that and you stay on that, then you can do anything you want outside of that. So it's going to create all these different forms, but it's going to maintain the similarity at the core. And so that's why I would say there are different forms of Christianity, because it's intended to be a universal or global religion, but at the same time, at the core, it's a singular form. I think there's one real form, and that's a form that the Bible teaches. Any other strand of Christianity isn't real Christianity. I agree with that. I agree. Of course, as Protestants, we definitely agree with, you know, the Bible alone, for sure. But I think what that means is, like, for example, the Bible doesn't say how many songs you're supposed to sing in a church service. It doesn't say
what genre of the song you're supposed
what
to
type
sing
of
it
song,
in.
right?
Yeah.
It doesn't say, can you do black metal in a church service? It doesn't say.
Right.
And so that's where, like, your culture, all it says is worship God. That's what the Bible says. Worship Jesus. Okay, well, how?
All your heart, soul, and mind.
Well, if I listen to black metal, I'm going to do it through black metal. If I'm in the, you know, the Middle Ages and there's all this beautiful classical music, then I'm going to worship Jesus that way. So yeah, there's a core that's like centered around the Bible, but from that core, the cultures express them differently. So that's my best stab at why there's different branches of Christianity. Very challenging question.
So there you go. That was his answer.
There you have it. It was fun.
Yep, it was real, and
Now,
it was really fun.
Some of y'all are like, you didn't talk to anybody, blah, 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 blah. Well,
I'm like, you liar!
you liar. Believe what you want.
Yep.
Believe what you want.
Let the record show!
Let the record show, but I can personally guarantee
this did actually
that
happen.
it is actually occurred.
But when we talk to Nergal, you better know we're gonna make sure that dude's on camera, because he shows his own face. So
That'll be on video.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Nergal goes on, like,
I will settle for no less.
American Idol and all that stuff.
Right. So he's not trying to keep himself all
different.
secret.
It's different. I'll tell you what. If I was in a metal band, that's what I would do. I would be like,
Oh my gosh, I would encourage you to. I'd be like, he's my husband, and nobody will recognize him.
all right. So, big shout out to Batushka.
Yep.
Shout out to the source. Shout out to that
Shout outs all
badass drummer.
around.
Shout outs all around.
Yeah.
Appreciate y'all. Vin out.
Sori out.
Gone.